Welcome back to the series where I rank every Fortnite chapter from worst to best. This is part 3, and today we're diving into one of the most explosive and confusing chapters in Fortnite history. Chapter 3. This chapter was fast, it was wild, it was short, but was it actually good? Or did it fall short of the legacy Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 built? Let's break it all down. The gameplay, movement, meta, map, and vibes, and give Chapter 3 its final score out of 10. So first things first, this chapter barely lasted a year. 4 seasons, in and out. Compare that to Chapter 2's 8 seasons or Chapter 1's 10. Chapter 3 feels like a blur. But in that short time, Fortnite introduced some of the biggest updates ever. No building, sliding, tactical sprint, Goku, Unreal Engine 5, the island literally flipped. Chapter 3 was the definition of go big or go home, and maybe that's why it didn't stick around and it burnt hot fast. One thing Chapter 3 absolutely nailed was movement. Fortnite has never felt smoother than it did during this chapter. Sliding made plays feel faster, tactical sprint gave you a burst to escape fights, and mantling made vertical movement effortless. The Spider-Man mythic web shooters, straight up legendary. This was peak mobility. You weren't just running around, you were sliding off mountains, swinging through cities, climbing buildings. It felt like an entirely new game. Even later on, the chrome blobs and octane cars from Rocket League movement was always a highlight. Fortnite had never felt more fluid. This was also the chapter that changed Fortnite forever, because Chapter 3 is when they removed building. No build launched for the first time ever. At first, people thought it was temporary. Then Epic said, nah, it's permanent now. So Overshield was added, gunplay became the focus, casual players rejoiced, and competitive players were torn. For a lot of people, this is what brought them back to Fortnite. No build made the game way more accessible. No more instant towers. You actually had to rely on cover and aim. It split the player base for sure, but it gave Fortnite a new identity. 2 games in 1. That was a risky move, but it paid off. So let's talk about the map. When Chapter 3 dropped, the flipped island felt fresh. Biomes were colorful, there were new POIs everywhere, and things looked promising. Greasy Grove returned, Sanctuary brought lore, Sleepy Sound, Logjam, and Reality Falls, solid locations. But after that first season or two, the map stopped evolving. POIs changes slowed down, the Chrome biome looked cool, but it didn't really feel alive, and the terrain, flat. Just kind of boring. Compare it to Chapter 2's evolving map, or Chapter 1's iconic chaos, and Chapter 3's map didn't quite have the same pull. So here's why Chapter 3 gets tricky, because it had so many great ideas, but it didn't really know what it wanted to be. Season 1, the vibes were great. Season 2 was an all-out war, Season 3 was vibing, and Season 4 was a chrome apocalypse. It kept changing tones, themes, and gimmicks every season. The gameplay was fun, but nothing stuck around long enough to build real momentum. The whole chapter felt like a series of experiments. Not all bad, but definitely inconsistent. If Chapter 3 had one defining feature, it was the collabs. Fortnite didn't just dip its toes into pop culture, it dove in headfirst. With Spider-Man, Goku, Darth Vader, Indiana Jones, Moon Knight, Uncharted, Mr. Beast, even real-life brands like Wu-Tang and Balenciaga. But here's the thing, all those collabs, while it was fun, started to blur Fortnite's core identity. It was less about the island and more about the skins, which, hey, Epic's making money, but it did take away from some of Fortnite's feel. Now, as far as the meta, Chapter 3 had some really highs and really weird lows. Spider-Man, Mythic, S tier, Striker Pump, Shotgun, great, 2-shot shotgun, massive L. SMGs ran the game for way too long. Reality Seeds were fun, but broke the balance. Core mechanics were creative, but didn't change much. Gameplay in Zero Build was fun, but competitive players weren't always happy. There were seasons where balance just went out the window. Still, when it worked, it worked. Chapter 3 felt fast and satisfying when everything clicked. So why do people look back on Chapter 3 with mixed feelings? Number 1, 4 seasons only. Number 2, rushed pacing. Number 3, lack of true in-game story. Number 4, the Fracture event was confusing, slow, and weird. Number 5, the chapter just ended without leaving a strong legacy. It's like Epic wanted to move on. Maybe they were already too deep into Unreal Engine 5. Maybe Chapter 4 is ready, but Chapter 3 never had time to breathe. So here we are. After going through everything Chapter 3 brought to Fortnite, the final score is 8.1 out of 10. This chapter was fun, it was fast, it was full of potential. It introduced game-changing features like no build and sliding, gave us insane crossovers, and had some of the smoothest gameplay I've ever seen. But it also felt rushed. The map was undercooked, the seasons didn't build on each other, It ended with more questions than hype. So yeah, chapter 3 gets an 8.1. A chapter full of innovation, but missing the soul and build up that made other chapters iconic. Still a huge W overall. So, what do you think? What do you rate chapter 3 out of 10? Is it peak Fortnite for you, or is it all flash and no feeling? Drop your ratings in the comments. Part 4 is next. Chapter 4. One of the most broken and beautiful and controversial chapters in Fortnite history. So don't miss it. Like, sub, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.